It is July 1st, 2020, NXT's Great American Bash, AEW Fighter Fest. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm LaBar. Matt Morgan will be along here pretty soon. He's en route.
Soonish.
He's on his way. Soonish. We got some news stories. We got some stuff to get to before we hop into these tonight. High-level thoughts on both shows tonight, Justin.
I thought it was pretty dead even for the most part. Going into tonight on paper, I thought NXT looked better on paper for night one of each of their dueling premium events. But I think main event wise, I think is where they separated, and I think NXT took the lead there. I just think I'm not sure, and I know we'll get into the weeds with both of these. The decision for AEW to put that tag match as the main event. I know that like both teams are like, especially Hangman and Kenny, they're a draw, and it's, but I just they're a big attraction for AEW. I'll say that. I don't know. I just felt like maybe put the title match with Jake and Cody in the main event. I don't know. I was just like, when you put that up against the Banks and Io, and that's what's going to be the main event for NXT for night one is Banks and Io. I don't know. Just really shocked by it.
I thought, and I'd heard some rumors, maybe AEW had a surprise in store for tonight, or something big was going to happen. It did not feel big at the end of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I guess then again, I don't know if Mox and Cage was initially going to be on night one in the first place. I don't think so. I thought it was going to be night two regardless. Obviously that's been pushed, as we'll address, but yeah, I don't know. I just think when main events, NXT just pulled away, and but I do think that it will be. And I don't think the tag match for AEW is bad. I just, again, side by side. But I don't think it's going to be a very wide margin. I'm going to predict NXT is going to get the victory in the viewership when we talk about it Friday. But I don't think it'll be by a large margin. I think it's pretty even.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So there's a rumor about SummerSlam.
Yeah, just some more chatter and talk. This one's coming from at WrestleVotes. This is a Twitter account that has definitely become a trusted WWE insiders has hit many more than it's missed. So we always take note when a piece of news comes reported from this Twitter account. And Russell Votes is saying that WWE is quote very much unsure about where SummerSlam will be held. Now, SummerSlam pre-pandemic was scheduled to be in Boston at the TD Garden. We know that that's likely not going to happen on August 23rd in Boston. I believe Boston had decided back in, I think even as early as April, that no events would be going on at least through August, like September at the earliest. So events of this nature. So, it's likely not going to be in Boston. So then, the report goes on to say that, a couple weeks ago it was noted, that to Russell Votes that WWE was certain they would find a way to get SummerSlam with an audience. Now, with the recent issues they've had with positive tests, just the PC, they're not so sure about that. WWE officials really don't want to hold SummerSlam at the Performance Center, but obviously that option's always going to be there. It's always going to be their fallback. The decision is described, as not yet imminent in the report. So basically they want to do it in front of fans. Probably won't be, but they don't want to do it at the PC, which I don't blame them. I mean, they had to do WrestleMania at the PC because it was 2 weeks after this whole thing really exploded here in the States, the virus that is. But I can definitely see with SummerSlam arguably being the second biggest show, Vince, if nothing else, not even necessarily for the crowd. I mean, even if he could find a place where he could get a 30% capacity, and not even for the crowd so much, so he'd probably still end up spending more money renting a venue than he would making live gate money after all said and done. I think just to have a visual, just to have the show look bigger by being in a bigger set other than the PC or Full Sail would be something they're aiming for. Maybe they can find an outdoor venue, kind of like how what the AEW's been doing with Daly's Place. Maybe they can find an outdoor pavilion, which, in theory outside it's a little bit safer, and it could potentially look bigger again than what the week to week, month to month shows have been looking like in this pandemic situation.
Well, we shall see. So Matt Morgan standing by. I just saw him pop on backstage. He's testing something with his mic and be on in a moment to talk about Great American Bash, to talk about Fighter Fest. Speaking of the Great American Bash, 4th of July is right around the corner. And Justin, do you know President Theodore Roosevelt's famous saying that he's perhaps best known for?
No.
Speak softly and carry a big stick. And so perhaps some of you out there, perhaps you need to take it down a notch. And at the same time, take it up a notch, if you catch my drift. Theodore Roosevelt, famous for being one of the Rough Riders. And if you could use some help to stop, drop, shut them down, and open up shop, Blue Chew has got you covered. Blue Chew, made in the USA, first and foremost. So right there, 4th of July. What better way to celebrate your patriotism than with good old American, old-fashioned science, innovation, and ingenuity? If you need to increase your performance, get that extra confidence in bed, listen up, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, the stuff that works, the science engineered to give you that boost where it counts. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you could be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And if you could benefit from that, more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Now, it's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor's office. You don't have to wait in line in the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. How easy is that? Again, made in the USA. They prepare and ship direct. They're cheaper than a pharmacy. No more awkwardness, and you don't have to leave your house. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code WINC. You're just going to pay $5 shipping. They're going to send you like 4 or 5 of these bad boys in a nice, attractive Blue Chew pouch and discreet outer brown wrapper packaging. Again, try it free. Go to BlueChew.com. Use our promo code WINC. It's a better, cheaper, faster choice. We thank them for sponsoring the podcast. Remember, you support our sponsors. You help make this podcast possible. And Justin, I don't know about you, but in the summertime, when it's so warm outside, think about all the good memories. No one talks about when you get old. It's too hot to do things. It's too hot for intimacy. And Blue Chew helps you get over that, get that performance, and make it happen. We thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
It's never too hot for intimacy, but I do get your drift. The Blue Chew is an added advantage, so I will thank them for that. There
are certain months out of the year where it's like, baby, I love you, but 6 feet distance.
And you live in Northern California.
We got the ocean breeze, the summer breeze, like the songs sing about. You think that would be perfect. So you think the summer breeze would make you feel fine. But no, sometimes it's so hot. Blue Chew makes it hotter in a good way.
Speaking of making it hotter in a good way, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Nice ball cap.
Thanks. I'm telling Matt, we are ready for you. I have an interesting theory about tonight's show.
Okay.
About both shows tonight.
Okay.
Both shows tonight showed us how meaningless, trivial, and arbitrary the concept of a pay-per-view is.
How do you mean? Like, I mean, I know tonight's shows are both like a 2-part pay-per-view.
You can just do it on free TV. Make an event out of it. This idea, it's all on the network now anyhow. They're not making money. Ratings, I think, count more than network subscriptions, certainly more than pay-per-view buys on cable systems. If ratings are key, why not make every show, not every show an event, but why not really use these build-ups to get people to tune in and do something special?
Well, I think you're going to see more of these kind of like I kind of say it like Clash of the Champions, because that was like always like a premium event that was on free TV for WCW. I think you'll see this as a regular thing on Wednesday nights because because you have two companies head to head. I think pay-per-view is still important, especially for AEW, because their pay-per-views are like $50 a pop, and that's some, they don't have a network, so I think they still want to make sure they preserve some prestige for what their pay-per-views are. But and you need content on the WWE network. I mean, WWE's given more and more. They have a free tier now for the network. You got to have some content for those that are actually paying for the network. So that still brings the value of pay-per-view for WWE and NXT brands.
Scoot over, Justin.
Getting too close to Matt. Keep your social distance.
Yeah, brother.
What'd you think tonight, Matt? Both shows and how they compare to a traditional pay-per-view model.
I liked them. I did.
Yeah.
I liked it tonight.
I thought it was good. I thought both shows were really good. We were talking.
Can you hear me okay or no?
Yeah, we can. So you're getting your mic's running a little, rubbing a little on your collar, maybe, or the cords hitting your collar a little bit. But aside from that, you're loud and clear. I think it's just maybe the cord rubbing against your shirt.
How about now?
That's great. Perfect.
I'm just gonna hold my hand like this. That's
okay.
Cool. Because that's I have time to do that.
You're like Bob Dole. Always with the hand. Just for those listening in audio only, Matt just shaking his head just in disbelief at my comments.
Can we more importantly talk about the thing on everybody's mind watching the show right now? That's how well I know these viewers and listeners, and that is the babyface assassin, Glenn Rubenstein. What's up? Look at Glenn.
Look at that hat.
Pinchy cheeks. I want to pinch your cheeks so bad right now, Glenn.
Growing up was a living hell, especially
my God.
older Jewish women. Oh, they have no shame. My older
pinch.
Jewish relatives, they just go for it.
I remember. Listen, you belong on a Campbell soup can, like that. Look at you.
It was really warm today. I said the other night I had a date with the Manscaped lawnmower, and it feels good. It feels liberating, Matt.
You shaved your head, didn't you?
I did end up shaving my head. There was a mohawk. There was a mohawk for like a hot minute, and then my wife was like, "I don't know how I feel about that," and I was like, "I don't either. I'm just going to shave it off."
Yeah.
It grows fast. It'll.
Yeah, it does. Your hair grows crazy fast.
Yeah, it'll be back before we know it. But and I don't care how much.
NXT,
NXT.
That's what you were gonna say.
No, I was just putting it out there. I just want to remind the audience of one thing. I don't see a dime of the super chat money. So no matter how much you toss in the super chat tonight, that all goes to Raj. You're not getting me to take this hat off.
Oh, super chatters! You're so smart, though. I would have done the same thing if I was them. I would have tried to goad you into it with that too.
And I'm laying this as a disclaimer.
That is a very good point. We do not see a penny of this. Raj right now is going, "Yeah, you do. How do you think you guys get paid?"
What I mean to say is I don't get anything extra as a result of that. Yes, Raj generously pays us all for doing this podcast. Super chats or sponsors or not, credit to him for that. But I'm just letting you know I can't be bribed to do this. That is the key. So let's talk tonight. What should we talk about first? I feel like I enjoyed NXT more. I got to be honest.
Then let's do NXT first for a change.
The Great American Bash tonight, starting hot. Fatal 4-way #1 contenders elimination match. Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae for a new #1 contender to challenge Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title. And this was crazy, good match. Got a lot of time. And I was surprised Tegan Nox got the win and is going to challenge.
Can you hear me? I like that. I like this. I truly, truly liked. I love Tegan Nox. Happy to see her where she belongs. She's in my top 4. People you change your top 4 all the time, Matt. No, I do not. Remember Booker used to do that with his what was it, top 5 or fave 5, and he would change it literally every week. No, but Tegan Nox I think she's a star. So I like this. I do. I think this is a great match. What a great way to kick the show off. Holy crap. And Candice LeRae, I need her to be a babyface. She is such a good babyface. Yeah.
And I like that they're setting this up and using spinning off of this match tonight. We're going to have Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim next week.
So that means we'll get some good mixed tags, I'm guessing, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so.
Think about it. They have a big responsibility. I'm not just trying to put this added burden on their shoulders. But they could be the first to really make mixed tag actually mean something. Think about it. These are real couples, right? They're really together. I don't know. I always thought mixed tags were cool. I had a lot of fun. I had a tag with Mickie James. A couple of house shows. Yeah. And it was fun as hell because we're good friends in real life. And we were against Pope and I think Angelina Love. And we're all 4 really good friends. And we were able to do some funny but really cool spots. I took Mickie James and put her on my shoulders and walked out like Big Sal from ECW style, and I walked her out to the middle of the ring to splash on Pope, and it was fun. You could do some more creative things together if it's done well, though.
Yeah, and it's ironic you say that, Matt, because a year or 2 ago when WWE tried that whole Facebook thing where they tried to do that mixed match challenge, and it was all a lot of it was random. Yeah. I didn't know why, when you have so many couples that are public about being together, why would you not capitalize on it? So now it's kind of organically.
And I think you'll pull in everybody's wives that have to be stuck in the background watching the show. Is it 9 o'clock on Monday? Crap. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones that don't really watch usually may start watching.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, and this match was fun. I like that it was elimination. You don't always see Fatal 4 eliminations. It was good, really good. As I said just before Matt came on, I thought both of these shows are, NXT looked better on paper. Both shows are pretty tight, but I think NXT pulled away in the main event. I think NXT perfectly bookended it. They started their show perfectly, and they ended it perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this just put front and center the main strength of NXT, which is that women's division. And I think showing these talents was such a smart move. And I think it, again, contrasted with AEW. AEW, we'll talk about their women's match tonight. It was good, but their division, even with Britt and the stuff she's doing out of the ring, like, just not nearly as good as what NXT has going on.
NXT, let's to be fair, has the best women's division and storylines for the women. Then I'm sorry, Raw, SmackDown, anything we've seen. Oh, what are you talking about, Matt? Don't you remember Leader Trash? Okay, that's one. That's one storyline.
There's one story.
That's one angle or one match.
Yeah.
The NXT women and girls, you could freaking just, it goes on and on. That is such a deep roster. I am sorry. So to compare AEW, which is a newer company, to the best female division of all time, we can't do that.
Well, but they're head-to-head. Competition, Matt.
All right.
Steve Marcuccielli, Buck 99, SummerSlam in Ryder Park asking for a friend.
Yeah, Steven. Yeah.
We got some good
Steven, that's why I got to be elected county commissioner. So we have more parks to be able to, I don't know, say the same thing about, like, yeah, they're never going to come.
Hey, you never know, man. I think all bets are off at this point. So, yeah, that was a hell of an opener. Justin, you dug the match? Good start?
Oh, it was great start. Great match. Absolutely.
Then why did they follow this with Timothy Thatcher versus Oney Lorcan?
Why? Because that is where, if you're going to put your snooze match out somewhere, your popcorn match,
second,
put it in right after that really, really, great action, great paced opener. This is where you stick them.
Although I think it's just inviting people to say, hey, I'm going to flip on AEW and see what they got going on right now.
They got to do it at some point if that's the match y'all booked.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, nothing against these guys, right? Like, they're both good in the ring. They're both talented. It's just, I just don't.
You need more. You can't just be a good wrestler. You have to have more.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. I mean, I think about this now. It's like, even with characters, like, there has to be more defining your character. You have to have a more unique look. There has to be something. I think back with comic books. I remember there were a lot of comics back in the day where I was like, this guy just looks like an average schlub.
Off the cover. I would judge it off the cover. I swear I would.
Yeah, absolutely. So after that, we had the 2-on-1 handicap match, or we did get a vignette first for Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Really, really building that up, saying his eyes are focused on the NXT North American champion Keith Lee and NXT champion Adam Cole ahead of next week's winner take all match. And then the 2-on-1 handicap match, Robert Stone and Aaliyah versus Rhea Ripley tonight, with Rhea Ripley getting a win. Both of them tapping out at the same time.
All right, I'm going to invoke my inner Glenn. Oh, Robert Stone. I feel terrible for him. He is so good. I can't be the only wrestling fan out there that thinks Robbie E is a very good wrestler and entertaining. But this is he never going to be a wrestler then? Because this sure doesn't help his case.
Yeah, when he's selling the way that he is, the offense from Rhea Ripley, it certainly that kind of sets your pace that forever on your career now at NXT, you're going to be a comedy guy.
Right.
Some of the comedy was entertaining. I thought this match overall though was too long, way too long.
But I'm happy he's getting an opportunity. He's worked really hard to get to the dance. But the guy's got a 6-pack abs. He's always in great shape. He's a good-looking guy. He's a great promo, and he could go in the ring.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you brought up his look. This would almost work better. Like, I mean, Robbie's very funny naturally, but this almost would have worked better if for the first time we see him, out of his suit and his character, if he had like a beer belly and was way out of shape.
Right.
But the fact that he takes his robe off and the dude is in phenomenal shape, he's tan, he looks like $1 million. It's like, well, I mean, am I going to buy that he's going to get his ass kicked here?
And amongst the NXT roster there, Glenn, he's not like diminutive. Like he's fits right in, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Although, hey, really quick in the chat room, if you guys want to see something funny, Robbie E and myself, go to on YouTube, Matt Morgan, Robbie E's The List. That was funny to do, and that was impossible for me not to really start laughing. I was biting my own tongue to stop doing it during it. He's funny.
No, and I like this character. I thought with this, look, it's good. Rhea's getting something. It's good. Aaliyah got something. It's good. Robert Stone got something. I mean, yeah, I think that if Rhea's not going to be in the title picture for a while, they've got to give her meaningful TV time.
And that's the other part of this that I did like. At least Rhea looks the way she should be looking, which is a freaking monster badass.
Yeah. The chat room is trying some interesting exercises in reverse psychology right now.
Let me hear.
Well, no, I mean, so some saying like, oh, the haircut must have been bad. And it's like, no, let me tell you how good the Manscaped work. You see this lack of hair on my face? Just imagine that, but all over. That's what I got going on. People are like, oh, you messed up. No, I didn't mess it up. I did what I intended to do. And
we're gonna build to the big finish. And folks, we're gonna get Glenn to take that hat off. That is gonna be the big finish.
You don't want to leave the show, folks, and you want to tell your friends to jump on while you can.
Yeah. We're gonna get to it. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Look like Egghead from Batman, the 1960s series. Good times. No, it's just funny to see. Like, again, don't, like, seriously, this isn't reverse psychology on my part. Don't with the super chats, because I'm just not going there. Not doing that. You can super chat about other stuff, just not about that. Roderick Strong versus Dexter Loomis. As much as I've crapped on Undisputed Era before, I think Roderick Strong is becoming a star group.
Yeah, it's something. I agree. It's something as far as the character development goes. Yes, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, there's something more to him being just one of the three generic guys behind Adam Cole. He's the guy who's having to overcome. Yeah, he's spooked out by Dexter Loomis. I like strap matches, oddly enough. And I know this isn't like, there wasn't the traditional strap match where you have to like touch all four corners. It was just all about tethering Roddy to, the man he's so afraid of. And I thought they played it off really well. I enjoyed this. I have a weird thing about strap matches. It's a gimmick. There's some gimmicks I hate. There's some gimmicks I really take a shine to, and this was one of them. I thought this was good.
But you may not have liked them in the past, and you took a shine to this one was because, like you said, it told a good story. They needed to do this match. It was the only, you know what I mean? It worked within the story. And they do that when certain bookers, to remain nameless, took over. They would just throw gimmicks out there just for the sake of doing it. Gimmick matches were invented to build to get there, like a cage match, for instance. That there's somebody who's terrified of somebody else, or somebody that keeps escaping and the champion keeps getting counted out on purpose, but retaining his title, for instance. Oh, we got to put him in a cage match. You build to these things, and they mean so much more instead of just giving them away for free for no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and you're right. The other gimmick that gets more commonly used is cage. When you want to tether somebody and trap somebody, they go to the cage. But I like strap matches because it's the same idea of keeping them within a certain distance of each other, but they can go outside the ring. They can do more things. They're not limited to just the confines of the 20 by 20 or 18 by 18 of a ring. So these guys went to the car. They went and they popped the trunk open. They fought on the stage, fought outside, had some cool spots outside. This was just, I thought it was a really well done match. Dexter Loomis is growing on me each week.
Yeah,
as I watch.
I hated him at first, even though I like him personally. But I did like it tonight. So
yeah, I think they're onto something with this feud. I think Roderick Strong and I think Undisputed Era is going to be okay without Adam Cole. I think having Roderick and Bobby helping them in this, I dug it. I'm turning a quarter on Undisputed Era. We got Johnny Gargano backstage with Candice LeRae. Candice was fighting with Mia Yim. Johnny had words with Isaiah Swerve Scott. Shawn Michaels broke up the action, and the argument continued. Santos Escobar, Raul Mendoza, and Joaquin Wilde. This promo. So they were talking about Lucha Libre culture. I used to rule the ring. They used to be something, and this historic tradition was turned into a sideshow. Matt, it's like they're listening to the podcast.
It is almost like they are.
Yes. So they're talking about restoring honor to the Lucha legacy. I really like this. I thought it was interesting that Drake came out there and Drake backed by Breezango. That is a pairing that I did not know I wanted until tonight.
Oh, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? Drake is perfect. Perfect. If there was a third member of like Fashion Police, I'm telling you, Drake he'll steal the show from him.
Yeah, I'm. They're going to be competing next week in night 2 of the Bash, and I'm really hoping that they all get one entrance together. That Drake comes out and does an entrance choreographed with them together. I hope it's not 2 separate entrances.
Yeah, seriously.
Human pyramid. I think that's what needs to happen.
Okay.
Something. This could be fun. This could be really good.
Oh, the promos and not vignettes. Their promos backstage could be awesome. Awesome.
I mean, this Drake still has momentum. I mean, Fandango's always a fan favorite. Same with Breeze. So is the Fashion Police with Drake. I think this could just be fantastic. Grimes cutting a promo, responding to a challenge from Damian Priest from earlier in the show. How's Grime time working out for you, Matt?
I like it. It's cool. What, the saying, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just the
He's rhyming. He's rhyming as he does all of his promos, and
I don't mind that. It's something. He's still finding himself. He's got to get these out.
Yeah,
it makes him stand out because otherwise he's just this, like, what is he? Is he the
And
like a
this
cow?
this may not be where he gets stuck at. You know what I mean, Justin? This may be his stuttering before he figures out he's the blue. You don't know.
Yeah, no, he's evolving. It's better than him just being just the generic guy
Yes.
who's kind of a cowboy, kind of not. So yeah, I watched that promo and like literally the first couple seconds of the promo, I was like, "What is this?" And then he's doing more rhyming. I'm like, "Well," and I thought the same thing. I'm like, "Well, it's something. It's at least I can define him and have him stand out in some way."
You're explaining them to your wife who never watches the show. I'm like, this is the guy that rhymes.
Yeah.
So then we had the main event. God, the show flew by tonight. Before that, though, there was a quick vignette coming soon from Mercedes Martinez. I think they're kind of giving her a relaunch.
Yeah. I love her. I'm so excited for her. So excited. You talk about pay your dues. Oh my God. She is paid enough for 5 wrestlers' dues. Seriously. I'm excited for her.
Yeah. I mean, talk about adding to a stacked division. I think she's going to make it all that much better.
Do you remember she stood out in that first Mae Young? I'm sorry. To me, she was such a standout in that.
No, absolutely. And I think there's just so much that they could do with her. They need, I mean, we'll say this again, they need a women's show.
My top 4 is honestly, I feel like the top 12. It's crazy.
It's just every woman on NXT. Is there any woman in the NXT?
I don't.
Yeah, that you don't.
I don't know. No. For a while there was Gonzalez, but now she's got me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like her. She just was, But now, no.
It's an incredible thing, as we were just talking about this with Grimes. Nearly at least every woman that's on TV consistently for NXT stands out by something.
Yep.
There's something, again, you can say to your buddy or say to your wife or husband or whoever and say, that's so-and-so, she does this.
I think you think you're on this with us, maybe not, but me and Glenn were talking about, I think you were, with even the hair color. I know it sounds crazy, but they all have, for the most part, definitive looks, definitive hair color, like loud colors, right? A lot of them, and their ring attire and their attitudes. Like you can totally you can tell which one's which.
Yeah.
Whereas in years past, if you remember, you couldn't. When you watched Monday Night Raw, it was just like an overload of blonde ladies or and a few brunettes, right? That's the way it was. If you didn't follow the show and know who everybody was, and again, I used the wife walking into the room to watch the show as my analogy, and my wife would say things like that. Oh, they got another blonde, shocker. Be a little hater from the sideline saying things like that back in the day. But today, you know them all.
Yeah. No, and that's what made Lita stand out so much. Aside from her athleticism, she was the only one that had red hair, a giant tattoo, and part of her wardrobe was her thong sticking out. There was 3 distinct things that nobody else was doing.
And when she walked out, she walked like she was a badass.
Yeah. Oh, she had swagger from day one.
Swag, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Old poor S.A. Rios.
Oh, S.A. Rios.
Of all my like weird cliche things I do, Matt, that's the one that amuses you the most.
I love it because it is your transition piece. That is your transitional phrase.
Glenn, I have a challenge right now.
Yeah.
You and I in a hat off on 3.
Look, no. Okay, and let me just say something here. I'm
Wowzers.
seeing like some of the comments the chat room's making, and no, I'm not taking the hat off. Like if they're gonna make mean comments about my baby face, this charming face, and yes, I know I look like powder in the hat. I remember the movie. I've seen it too. That's not an original comment. I'm just saying, like, don't think I'm gonna give you more fuel to the fire, people.
There you go.
How about take it off for 3 seconds and they have to screen grab it as fast as they can in 3 seconds?
I'll delete this podcast off every platform. So like that'll be alive.
There will be 300 screen captures like that. You kidding me? These fans
And I'm not. It's not even that I'm embarrassed by it. It's just for me. It's different. Like I'm not. Let me put it this way. I'm not used to looking at myself yet. If I didn't have my own photo on screen here, but if I was looking at it right now, that's all I'd be staring at. I'd be like, I'm just not used to it. Like I'm just, you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's all it is. Whatever. I don't care.
Busting your balls.
Yeah.
But stay tuned for the whole show, folks. Glenn is going to do a humongous unveiling. You don't want to miss it.
I'm going to get a text from Raj like, dude, why aren't you taking off the hat?
This is like Kane unmasking.
Yeah. No. Terrible. Take that back. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, good Lord. This is what I choose, how I choose to start my holiday weekend.
LaBar bully.
LaBar bully. There you go.
Speaking of which, today on the Wrestling Inc. Daily, Nick Hausman referred to my fans. He called himself LaBar Flies. Like,
that's good.
Oh, tell him I said that's money. That's
which one's better?
Too.
Is that one better than LaBarbarians?
Okay, it's not better, but it's pretty good. I couldn't come up with something better than that. Okay. Tell him I said good stuff. That was pretty creative.
I'll see which one I want to put on a t-shirt. I don't know.
Both. What are you doing? 2 t-shirts.
2 t-shirts. Just have an entire line.
Well, I have 4 shirts, and two of them you can get at Pro Wrestling Tees. But I need to do
Wait,
new ones.
what?
Yes.
Time out. What?
I have my shirt that has my reality check for the podcast with the American flag and reality check. I have the Book of Reality. I have that one. I have a couple different shirts with the reality check deal. I sold them at the indie shows, and I figured, well, I might as well put them online on Pro Wrestling Tees.
What happened to the business that I grew up in, loved, worked my ass off to get into? Everyone just gets a t-shirt.
I don't know, Matt. I mean, you wrestled for years, blood, sweat, and tears into this business.
Got my first t-shirt, TNA, but still, my very first t-shirt, it was a big accomplishment in my head for like a minute, but it was something. Now I guess that's cool though for fans because indie wrestling is much bigger than it ever was.
That's true.
So for that reason, it's cool. You can have your own cult favorite wrestler and actually go get their shirt. That's pretty cool.
No, I mean, you did that. You paid your dues. Now you're hosting a podcast. Justin, you've been working in broadcasting, coming up in wrestling media and doing this. I mean, I was just placing ads on this podcast, and I made Raj laugh on the phone one day. Next thing you know, I'm hosting this show. Well, seriously? More or less. Yeah.
You made him giggle? You made him snicker?
It's because I think I've told this before. It's been 4 years now. So I placed ads on this podcast back when the prior host and prior crew was doing the show. And then there was a transition and a change that I think David Bixenspan was doing it for a while. I was just talking to Raj, I think the first time we ever chatted about placing some ads on the show. And I brought up something about wrestling. I was making a story about the Becky Lynch Last Kicker shirt. And I was like, yeah, I can't wear this outside the house. He was like, hey, do you want to be a guest on the show? And then I was a guest. And then 5 minutes after it ended, I said to my wife, I think they're going to ask me to host the podcast. And boom, the email arrived. I started hosting the show.
No, I think Raj is that desperate to always have somebody replace him, so he doesn't have to do it.
It's true. It's his dream now.
He will ask anybody to fill in for him, so he doesn't have to do it. I'm right, Raj. And that's not an indictment on you, Glenn, because you're one of the three of us here.
I mean, I have hosted podcasts before. It wasn't like this wasn't like a Dolly Parton Straight Talk situation. I mean, she was just applying for a job as a receptionist. Next thing you know, walks in the wrong studio, starts answering phone calls. Then she's like the hottest rated advice host, giving out advice and helping people with their problems. And what was it, Chicago? Only seen Straight Talk once. Fell in love with James Woods.
Oh my God.
It's a hell of a movie. Dolly Parton.
Next. Was that where the 9 to 5 song came from? Because she had to
No,
write it for the
9
movie.
to 5 came from the movie 9 to 5, Justin.
Close.
Right there. Have you seen 9 to 5?
I've seen bits of it, and then I watched a Dolly Parton documentary a few weeks ago to remind me of it.
9 to 5 is a great film. Like, and Dabney Coleman is like hilarious in it. Leon Duncan, Io, Asuka versus Bailey Banks on week 2. Probably.
I think they're already pretty packed for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nelson Buck 99. Glenn is every heel after they lose a hair match. See, there you go. That's where it's at. What else do we got here in the chat?
Glenn, you should have wore a wig. You should have wore like a funny wig.
I thought about in the last hour while I was watching the show, I was like, okay, so here are my options. I was like, got a cowboy hat that I wear when I go to like outside. I don't know. It's not a style thing. It's just good for blocking the sun. I've got like a bucket hat. I've got like a weird like pork pie. Like I could be, playing trumpet in a ska band hat. Like I've got that. And I was like, no, that looks too weird on me. I've got a do-rag. Probably would have been.
Oh, go get the do-rag.
Please.
No.
You quoted Rough Riders. You quoted Rough Riders in a Blue Chew ad.
Raj, I know you're watching somehow. Raj, I will do this show for free if Glenn puts on a do-rag.
Raj,
Please, I will send all my money to whatever charity you want to.
Anyhow, so
Raj,
options.
I will not do the show for free, but it would still be really funny if you make Glenn put the do-rag on.
Please,
no one can make me do anything.
I'm
This is why
I'm begging. Look at my hands.
I said to my wife, I said I should call in sick for the podcast because this is going to be a distraction. I'm going to distract everyone tonight.
Oh well,
with this beautiful baby face, with the money maker.
No, guess what? You've given me energy to talk on the podcast now, is what you've done. So please wear Tupac style too. Wear like the reverse way.
I am not wearing that. That is not happening.
Come on. I don't ask for anything.
Oh, there we go. Antoine Fair. Glenn is rocking the Kana mask cut under the hat. It is that bald.
It's not that. Here's what it is. Also, you're incredibly pale right now.
I'm incredibly
outside.
pale.
That's not helping your situation. That's
not
how
at
you're
all.
going to look once you get the stubble coming back more. You'll see.
Yes, maybe Friday or next Monday.
I when I shaved my whole head in college, I did not like it. It took me like 2 or 3 days, and I got used to it. Glenn could be related to King Kong Bundy with a new look. Geez, Steve, with friends like you, who needs enemy? That's terrible. No, he does not. No, he does not.
There we go. Is Avery Leon saying do a 3-part podcast building to the unveiling?
That's good.
See? There we go. And only one saying I have an adorable baby face. Glenn embrace it. So there you go.
I said it.
See, Matt, finally something appropriate to call adorable on this podcast.
I said it at the beginning.
So let's talk about this main event. I don't want to step on this.
All right, Pinchy Cheeks, let's go.
I'm gonna go get the hair out of the trash can and just glue it back on. Because I think this was a mistake to go this bald.
You can't come on. Yeah, God, sorry.
Yes, Keith Robinson, $9.99.
What?
Just want to say thank you for the amazing entertainment that helps me and others during the very strange time. Hope someday there's meet and greet to thank you in person. Thank you so much, Keith. We appreciate it.
Keith, so badly we were looking forward to meeting everybody at Tampa.
It's going to be great.
Idea how much we were looking forward to that. So we will definitely be doing something again for sure. I will drag Garage kicking and screaming. We're definitely doing something though.
Yes. Once the world gets into a better place, we will definitely honor that meeting.
Yes.
And Anthony Y, I'm sorry I didn't see your super chat. Repost it. And as long as it's not about my haircut, I will talk about it on screen. Oh, the chat room. You make this podcast worth doing. So the main event.
Your transition. Go ahead.
Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks. Lengthy match. Bailey coming out with Sasha in a card. Bailey, I think, had a corgi with her. Asuka showing up to cause the interference that allowed Io to win. It was a non-title win, but still Io won over Sasha. And this was commercial free in the main event here tonight.
This was awesome. Got to give him credit. This was good. This was really good. This was a star-making performance, I thought. I liked what the finish was, man, but I would like to see them put her over strong.
Yeah,
stronger.
Yeah, good match. Yeah, commercial free. Thanks to Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew made it commercial free. I was gonna say, oh yeah, no, Mountain Dew sponsored the match, so that made it. They went commercial free.
Just putting over Mountain Dew.
Yeah, who cares?
Hey,
I didn't have to worry about.
cares?
I didn't have to worry about a commercial. That's who cares.
You dork.
You're the dork, Morgan.
Dude, you must have had a hard time in grammar school if that's your comebacks, brother. You're just reversing mirror image what people call you.
Anyways,
Go ahead. Shows of sponsors of other shows have nothing to do with this one. Shout out or go ahead, continue.
I just want to thank the Council Against Vaping because I was thinking about vaping.
I want to say Diet Pepsi. That was awesome. Go ahead. Why'd you like the match, Justin?
Better yet, why do you like Mountain Dew?
I don't drink Mountain Dew. It's bad for you. It's bad for
Bad
you.
for your teeth.
It's bad.
Yes, Mountain
It's
Dew
bad for your.
mouth.
It's bad for your. It's bad for your insides, man. It can rip you up.
But it's good. Tons of energy.
It is. I always drink Mountain Dew when I go to Taco Bell. I always want Mountain Dew for the soda
same
fountain.
here. I am becoming such a fat ass. I'm doing it myself. 2 a.m. Taco Bell runs. My wife's like, "Who are my?" She says,
and I'll drink Mountain Dew in the middle of the night. If I'm Taco Bell, Mountain Dew is a part of that experience.
I'm not joking. I just did this last week.
Yeah,
I went over 2 years without dark soda, and then just recently, I had a Dr. Pepper, and I'm worried that I'm gonna slip back into dark soda because Dr. Pepper's good.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper's pretty good.
Anthony Wide, this was nice, and I'm just apologize for missing this before. You didn't have to pay again. He said Glenn Snapple Rubenstein, Justin 2 scoops LaBar in the blueprint, the Wednesday night triple ink. By the way, Taz fire shots to WWE test.
WWE test. What do you mean?
He did. He took shots at their COVID testing in his promo tonight.
Yeah.
Louis 13, it's right here. I finished the Snapple early on. I should go get another Corona. Seriously,
Lewis is like me because before I come on the air, they get me ready to, whatever before I get to come on, and I'm always texting Glenn. Glenn's got his sweet Snapple ready. I see. We all noticed every detail of this show.
And you know what's weird? As it's summer and we're doing longer podcasts. Like now, I'm just bringing 2 cups of water up every time we do this, and the Snapple. Like more and more because it's just getting warmer and we go along with these podcasts. We're talking a lot. It just happens. Antoine Fair, I appreciate the super chats, but no, I'd probably rather be seen bald than in a cowboy hat and a do-rag. Although together that would be quite the look. I think Prison Mike ruined the do-rag.
Go do it. Come on. Wear both.
We've got other podcasts. This hair is not going to be grown back in for a while, so stay tuned for that. But I liked how they finished this tonight. I liked having Asuka show up. I liked Asuka celebrating with Io after.
Yes, good rub.
This felt like a big show.
Yeah, and one small detail that I liked at the very end is a very minor thing, but I noticed it. I'm sure other people do. Asuka spits the mist into Banks' face. And they did a good job with Banks with her hair covering it, and then Io covering Banks' face with her leg when she does a pin, so the referee cannot see the mist. And then after the 3 count, the ref then sees the mist, and and the camera's on him. He's looking at Asuka. He's confused. He thinks something happened, but the match is already over. I know that might seem like something stupid, but that's a very, very key thing.
Detail.
Because logic would be if he sees her face all of a sudden green and he sees Asuka out there, he would stop. It's kind of like you use the chair spot. So. Yes. Very small, but WWE and NXT by proxy does a very good job, I think, with some of these details with the referees of just keeping logical continuity with things.
Definitely, and again, this show was bookended. Again, we're well past having to say this as a step out, if you will, comment anymore, right? But it was bookended by really, in my opinion, amazing women's wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the norm now. It's not like a big of a deal anymore because they are so damn good and it happens so frequently. But again, my wife noticed that for sure. She goes, "Damn, these girls keep getting better," because she hasn't watched it in a while. And she's like, "These girls keep getting better and better." And she goes, "Didn't this show start off with women?" I'm like, "Yep."
Mm-hmm.
And I think they need their own show. I agree.
And I think they know that this is their strength. I think they're looking at the ratings, they're looking at the competition, and they just know that, look, they can counter program Adam Cole and Undisputed Era all day long. AEW can counter program that. They can't counter program the women, not in a meaningful way.
No, you're right.
But ironic as we transition into AEW, the time where NXT puts in, as we kind of say, the second match sleeper with that Thatcher match. Opposite it was a women's match that I think exceeded expectations on AEW, which we'll get to here in a second.
Yes, and that's how we have to judge that, in my opinion. I agree.
And I think
give them their props because they are getting better.
And if I were AEW, I would seriously be figuring it out. I would seriously be watching the TV and be like, well, they're doing a women's match now, so if we can make the timing of this lineup.
Here's what they do, and this is where Awesome Kong Not Wrestling. I think Awesome Kong, from the very beginning, there's so many different routes this company could have went with their women's division on who they were going to make their main acts. Do you guys know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I do feel Awesome Kong versus who? Give me a Penelope Ford once she gets built up. Once she got built up a little bit, I'd say they could have stole some viewers, I feel, off of NXT women's match. Not that it would be better, but that it would definitely curiosity factor of seeing badass Awesome Kong, right, versus the proverbial baby face would be enough to pull some viewers away.
Kong has obviously far more credibility. I think AEW is trying to in her place. I think that's what they're trying for with Nyla Rose.
Oh, definitely. You know? Oh my God, definitely. And she definitely does it. It's just, but she's still somewhat new to the mainstream fan that doesn't.
Right.
But yeah, she plays a great heel monster, though. She does.
Yeah.
She's believable. Like, her promos when she's cursing and stuff, like, randomly. Like, she's believable.
So this was tough tonight because they did open with MJF on the mic, and for that commanded my attention. But once they went to the match, MJF and Wardlow versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, I mean, I thought this was actually a pretty good match.
This was a great way to kick off their show. And any other week, I'd be like, damn. Like, NXT, try to top that in the opener. NXT, in my opinion, they did, but not by much. And the only reason I say not by much is because what you just said, my attention did go over to the NXT TV when he was cutting his promo.
Yeah. And NXT's match meant something. With this, there was no stakes in it. I mean, I actually was surprised Luchasaurus won. I really thought it was a foregone conclusion. This was going to be Wardlow's chance to have a meaningful victory.
He beat him already, though. Didn't Wardlow beat Luchasaurus?
Oh, that's right. That's right. So 50-50 booking, our favorite thing.
Well, I was not. First off, the match was fun. There's a lot of innovative offense that both teams did. I was not thrilled that Wardlow took the pin, even though he got the kick out at 3, and he even like sat up and did like the Undertaker stood up and screamed, and Luchasaurus had to knock him down again. But then I thought about it, and I was looking at social, and this is what makes sense. They obviously teased MJF and Wardlow even more so splitting of they had that miscommunication, and MJF has never been pinned or submitted in AEW, so it would make sense that when they split and they finally have a match, if Wardlow's the one who finally can beat MJF in AEW, that would mean something. So I guess if they need somebody to take a pin, again, I don't love Wardlow being it, but if they try to protect him as much as they could in the process of it.
Yeah, that was very protected to be able to kick out on 3.
And MJF calling it a ratings war in that opening promo.
Yeah, he did say that. That's right.
Low ratings war.
Which is funny, right? Because this is the heated rivalry. This is what everyone's talking about. We talk about, Raw and SmackDown ratings in the context of that they keep going lower and lower, but it's crazy that with NXT versus AEW, they're fighting, this battle, and the difference is so minuscule. It's like the average Seinfeld rerun does higher ratings than either of these shows.
It does.
I will make a prediction though, based upon whatever flawed system I know we all discussed last Friday. Like I said, I think NXT will win. I think it'll be by a narrow margin. I think both shows though will be in the 800,000 of viewership.
Okay.
Bold prediction. Joey Janela and Lance Archer. Lance Archer and Joey Janela brawling. The two are going to meet next week. Sonny Kiss and others kept them apart. And then Hikaru Shida defending the championship against Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian entering with her. This match was really good.
Yes, this match was very good, actually. Like Justin said, exceeded expectations. But Penelope Ford is this freaking star. Such a star.
Yes. This was one of her best matches, and then they got me a couple times. They got me on a few of the falsies. I thought Penelope was going to win a couple times. I really did. So good here. And real quick, cheap plug to Wrestling Inc. We saw Lance Archer a minute ago, and with Jake, we have an awesome new exclusive interview that we did today with Jake the Snake Roberts. You can hear the full audio from our Wrestling Inc. Daily today, and it is emotions run amok. It is an awesome interview with Jake. So please go check that out if you're a Jake the Snake fan.
Very cool. What do you think having Shida win this? I mean, we all figured this is what was going to happen.
Yeah, of course. Nothing.
Penelope looked good though.
That's what we said.
Yeah. Cody versus Jake Hager for the AEW TNT Championship. And of course, before that, we saw Taz breaking down Moxley's paradigm shift. Quickly, I just want to say I really liked how he broke down that move is going to be a challenge because Brian Cage's upper body is so big.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I agree. That was your good call, Justin. I guarantee you pop for that too. Justin's a big fan of like details and explaining realism and trying to add realism to these things. I agree, but I was not excited about this match. I just wasn't. I love Cody Rhodes. He's so passionate. I believe everything he says on the microphone. I love the style he wrestles. There's nothing against him, and I shouldn't say anything against Jack Swagger or Jake Hager either. But this match did nothing for me.
Yeah, it came in under expectation.
I had low expectations to begin with, not because both can't work, but I just don't care. Hager hasn't been built up enough for me yet.
And by the way, this is
weird. Sorry.
And by the way, this is a really shallow critique, but I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't know what the hell. I mean, this is supposed to be like kind of like a pay-per-view feel, and like pay-per-view feel, guys and girls come out with their ring gear. They usually have like special ring gear, new ring gear.
PPVs. Check out my new PPVs, bro. That's what everyone used to in the locker room.
Really?
Yeah.
Hager looked like he was in the middle of getting dressed for his match, and they said, "You're on now." He's wearing these blue compression. It literally looked like that's what he would wear underneath of his singlet. Like it looks so weird. I don't know. Maybe I know somebody's probably like, LaBar, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? But it just whatever. This match kind of came in under. I critiqued that what they decided to go with in the main event. On paper, I would have thought this would have been the main event. But yeah, even this was a little bit underwhelming. I will say that the finish was creative, and Hager getting the MMA submission hold, but his shoulders are pinned. It's not the first time we've ever seen it, but it is something like at least it again, it's trying to protect him while still holding the title on Cody. But the match overall, it was just it was not as big as I thought maybe this match would be.
The weird thing about Hager is, I mean, here's a guy with legit MMA wins when AEW started, and he was, I feel, hyped so much early on. It's like tonight, I know they tried to protect it by having Cody be out for the pin with the finish, which we'll talk about in a second. But I don't know. I think it's weird that he's destined to be like a mid-carder at this point. And maybe, actually, I don't know why. I mean, is it?
He's supposed to be the muscle of the inner circle, but he doesn't feel like the muscle of the inner circle.
No.
And there's no disrespect to him. He's not muscular. He's not. He's long and lanky. He's not like Wardlow. To me, if you saw Hager by himself on just on TV, and then you saw by himself just Wardlow would feel bigger to you and he's not taller than him. He's nowhere near taller than him. Not even close. But
no, you're right. Hager, for being legit 6'4", 6'5", does not. It doesn't evoke that kind of size and presence with
whatever reason. Yeah.
With the inner circle, I feel that Jericho is so overshadowing. I mean, it is kind of the same as the Undisputed Era problem, right? It's like with the exception of Sammy Guevara.
I just because Jericho made him the most important he's felt in this show.
Yeah,
when he first introduced him.
And Jericho's been able to elevate a guy like a Sammy Guevara, who is not I
was gonna say Sammy's the exception.
Yeah, Jericho's not overshadowing. Jericho has done a lot to try to make those around him feel bigger and more important. But everything that Matt said, Jake just hasn't been bought in. And I would argue to say still, Jack Swagger is more impressive than Jake Hager, like in terms of what I can recall from each of them right now. That AEW Jake Hager just is not.
We the People was over.
Before that, when he was a champion, All-American from Oklahoma.
Yep.
Like, I like the real storyline when you have real All-American athletes. You should be marketing that because not everybody can do that.
The All-American was great.
Yeah, I like that.
Dustin D 499 Ford versus Shida managed to make me buy into the possibility of a title change. Matt, how hard would you have to be hit to throw a kendo stick that high?
Wait, hang on, let me read this. Ford versus Shida managed to make me buy into the possibility of a title change. Matt, how hard would you have to be hit to throw it? What does that even mean? The last question. Justin, explain that.
I believe Kip Sabian came in, and when he was hit, the kendo stick, I think, got tossed in the air.
Oh,
I remember right. So,
no, he didn't really throw that because that's how hard he got hit. That was just overselling, obviously. But just so you know, when you get hit with those things, they sting like a bee.
I was getting ready to ask you that. I'm glad you said this. I've only been hit with one once, and I've been hit with the chair. I will take the chair over the kendo stick every time.
Seriously, dude, kendo stick is you can't compare it to a smack to the face because that doesn't even sting like this does. Kendo stick. So go back and watch Sandman versus Tommy Dreamer now. With what I'm telling you all, it stings.
Can I tell you the one time I've been hit with a kendo stick was by Sandman at a House of Hardcore show, and I was like, wow, never first experience of that.
Does not sound pleasant.
No.
Not in the least. So the ending with this, Cody was in the triangle lock from Hager, and the way he essentially collapsed onto Hager. The referee counted at Hager's shoulders were on the mat, so Cody got the win via pinfall. Thought that was a clever way to do the ending.
It was, but again, you're protecting a guy that they're not making into a monster enough to begin with. I don't even think he needed any protecting here. Honestly, Cody should have annihilated him, quite frankly, in my opinion. Until they're going to book him differently, Hager, and have him steamroll people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's nothing. He's the only real shoot tough guy in the actual, in real life in that company.
Well, so let's talk about.
Make sense.
Let's talk about this for a second because you got Hager, you got Wardlow. It seems like Archer is the first. Well, but specifically with Hager and Wardlow to be like the big brawlers, like I think Archer is the only one they're really booking, and now Brian Cage. It seems like Wardlow is just MJF's muscle still at this point, and Hager is part of the backing band to the Inner Circle. It's just interesting because they were the prototypical guys for that role in AEW, and they've both been passed over.
Well, Wardlow is about to be. He's right now not even on the precipice. He's still not. He's about to get on the precipice of superstardom. In my opinion, that's where they're going with him. I'm telling you right now, somebody to kick out on 3 is a very big deal. In all my years wrestling, I've not really seen that on any shows I've been booked at. I'm being dead serious. It's a rarity, and that means that they think very highly of him, and he's going to be a single breakout star, no question in my head.
Yeah, for fans who want a history, you want to see somebody else who got to kick out at 3. It was when the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6. Hogan got to kick out at 3.
There you go.
Someone in the chat room's asking, Jack Spiker did have something with marijuana.
It was right before Mania 29.
Yeah. So there you have it, wrestling enthusiast. Buck99, you asked us. You could have Googled it yourself.
Yeah, why did that come up? Did somebody ask us?
Wrestling enthusiast asked.
I missed it. Okay.
So you could Google it, or you could pay $1.99, and we'll answer your questions. Imagine that service. Remember calling information, Matt? Remember, it used to be, I need a phone number. I'm going to call up now. They're going to look it up.
Yes. Get my pen ready.
Yeah.
And then the big next step was you could press the button. It would connect us. Remember?
Yes. And remember, you got 5 free calls to information a month, 5 411 calls a month, and after that, you had to pay every time.
Glenn, do you remember, I don't know how it was for you, but and fans watching this, if you're our age, 43, 44, or whatever, do you all remember, like, after you're done with your homework, like the biggest thing, at least where I lived in Connecticut, was to get on the phone and have all your buddies like on total phone. Like I'd have my best friend Yanni on with me. He would click over and call my friend Griffin. He would click over and call his friend whomever, Ricky.
Yeah.
And you guys would just sit there for hours and hours and run up your parents' phone bill.
Oh, yes. For me, you want to talk the ultimate computer nerd thing is back in the day of BBS systems, you like war games. My computer would call another computer, and then I found sites where you could download like pirated games and things like that back in the day. But I remember having to make long distance calls to do that. And I think the first time there was like a $300 phone bill, like my mom like locked up my modem, so I couldn't use that. Long distance used to be very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember before caller ID, what was it, dialing star something to find out the last number that called.
Star 69.
The star 69.
If you want to block your call, you can do star 67.
Yes. Ruined the prank call, star 69.
I remember the commercials. Dial down the middle,
that.
10 220, or it was like whatever those commercials were for.
How were collect calls must have been the biggest business. David Arquette was doing a commercial. Ed O'Neill was doing a commercial.
Reginald Vell Johnson, who was Carl Winslow, did one.
Like how much? Now remember, it would always be the collect call when I needed a ride. Like call us collect. We won't accept the charges, but we'll know then to come pick you up. Or sometimes you do the collect call and you try and give your message really quick before. Yeah.
Yep, totally. Oh my God, I remember that. That's how I used to get home from basketball practice. My dad would know to come get me. I swear to God.
Kids these days don't know how good they got it.
Yeah, one of them. Kids these days don't know the art of having to remember a phone number.
Yes. When I had my first cell phone, it was $2 a minute to make a call on my cell phone. Wow. It was insane. I mean, so before evenings and weekends were even a thing. We're old, Matt. We've lived through history. And Justin, you to a lesser extent.
Much lesser.
much. Yet, looking at the three of it, well, babyface over here doesn't count, but between Matt Morgan and Justin LaBar, I think most people would say Justin looks older.
He's a world-class athlete. I can't compete with that.
And what? I've got like my crazy vegan diet advantage, just keeping me fountain of youth young looking.
He's a world-class athlete as a mayor. I mean, he's an American gladiator. I'm a schlub with 2 kids, and I'm talking wrestling, running a sports. I can't keep up with him. Give me a break.
Blessed to have 2 kids. That's awesome.
I am very blessed to have 2 kids. I have great kids, healthy kids.
Nelson Buck 99. You have a collect call from Mom. Come pick me up.
Yes, dude. That's it. That's literally it. Good call, Nelson.
Carlton Lindbeck, how old is Glenn Matt's in his late 30s? No, Matt and I are both the same age, roughly. Ooh. We're both born in 76, but I'm a little older than Matt. And Raj is older than both of us. 44. So, Matt, you're going to be 44 September
10th. Yeah, September
10th. So, this vignette from Darby Allin. Darby Allin is living his best life.
Did you guys see him?
Yes, he is.
Did you guys see him do the backflip off the top of the ramp and land on the skateboard?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I don't. That. Yes.
I don't care if it took him 20 takes. It's just amazing he did it once at all.
Yes.
I think it's more amazing to do that move and fail and then attempt that move again.
Oh my God, yes. I would never try it again. The first time I felt like, all right, that's it, I'm done.
I was really, we talked about the movie Rad a couple weeks ago on this podcast. I was really into my BMX bike and going to, I don't know what they called it in your city, but mine was called the Jumps. It was just a place where you could jump your bike in the city.
Ours was the track. The
track. And I remember the first time I went off a ramp somebody built, flew over the handlebars, broke my arm. That was the last time I went BMX biking. Like one time was enough for me to be like, no, I'm good.
When my brother, is not the same thing, but my brother got hit by a pitch in baseball and he broke his arm from it. He never went back to it again.
Yeah.
When you're a kid and you break a body part and you're young enough and whatnot, it is so damn influential to make you just, all right, I'm never doing this again, because that's what you're always going to associate it with.
Yeah. It's the only time I've ever broken a bone. And so it's terrible. Orange Cassidy, man, Fyter Fest 6 months ago, Matt, if I would have said so, AEW is going to have this 2-night pay-per-view thing, and the main event of it is going to be Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho, and they're going to build the hell out of this. People, you would have said, Glenn, you're smoking crack. Like, come on, really?
I would have stolen the credit for it by saying that day when we made like Twitter explode about Orange Cassidy, if you remember, we did.
There you go.
We played a hand in that. I would totally take credit for it. Steal it.
It's all Matt Morgan.
It's all because of me.
Yes. But no, I loved him just out there sitting. I'm not even intimidating, just sitting outside while Jericho, or sitting to the side of the commentary while Jericho did commentary. This was great. Just him being there.
It was. He's got his stuff down. Whether you like it, you don't like it, he has got his character down pat. I watched some of his stuff on AEW Dark. It was pretty funny too.
Oh, I gotta read this.
Matt,
Sorry, Justin, what do you got?
Oh, real quick, Matt, have you ever? If not, I'll send it to you. Have you ever seen the clip of Orange Cassidy? I don't know what indie promotion it was, but it's a clip where him versus opponent, and his opponent basically well, there's that one. His opponent lulls him to sleep and then has to try to beat him while keeping the entire arena quiet.
I want to say yes.
That's pretty good.
There's one indie wrestling company that is hilarious to watch. I bet you that was the company.
Yeah, it was.
Seriously, there's one indie. Anyways, sorry, go ahead, Glenn.
No, Brian Bonney, $4.99. I called the 1-900 Nintendo support back in the 80s so I could beat Zelda on the NES. Parents about killed me when they got the phone bill.
Brian, 1,000% do I remember this? Yes, definitely. Yep.
First, it was the 976 numbers, then the 900 numbers.
Then the 900. Yep.
Do you remember 5 times on an episode of Nitro, Gene Okerlund, 1-900, 909, 9900 for the WCW hotline?
Oh, yeah.
They pumped that huge.
They were making a ton of money.
I was in college. I don't have an excuse that I was young and impressionable. I was having a Nitro party. We had our cheerleaders there. We had our dance team in there, and the big suite that all the athletes lived in. And I swear to God, they had pony kegs. It was a big deal. That's how cool wrestling was back then.
Yeah.
And my loser butt is in my dorm room calling that line. Telling everybody to shut up. I want to hear you. You're making me miss this. Like I was going to get some earth-shattering news or something.
Because me and Gene's teasing, there might be a fella from up north. He might be disgruntled coming down here.
I'm sprinting to my dorm room right now at this moment. I'm not joking.
That's awesome. That's all. And I love the fact you admit you're in college. So there is no excuse.
None.
Oh, man.
It's weird. That was such a boom business for such like a short period of time, for like 10 years. Those numbers were everywhere.
Wrestling was so bulletproof then too, man.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was cool.
Yeah. So Private Party with Matt Hardy. Party Hardy. Did they say that tonight? And why didn't they say that? Why isn't that a thing? With versus Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be more excited about this.
I love Private Party for what it's worth. Not talking, but wrestling. Love them in the ring. But
they looked good.
That's about it.
It was there.
See, I was waiting for this, though. Post-match, Jericho throwing water at Orange Cassidy. Cassidy kicks the chair away, goes to leave, but Jericho tries to get at him. Other people run to keep Jericho away. And Jericho yelling at Cassidy, "You're going to get it next week." I love how infuriated Jericho gets at Orange Cassidy.
And also, let's not no-sell the fact there was like 5 people holding back Orange Cassidy, who was barely moving. That was pretty funny, actually.
It was. Yes, it was.
So Taz came out with Brian Cage. They said after speaking with Tony Khan, found out Moxley's concerned for the health of everyone in AEW. Of course, what's going on with Renee Young right now, being COVID positive. And even though Moxley is tested twice negative for COVID-19, he's going to be tested again. Said not going to show up next week because they don't run a quote unquote sloppy shop. But he said he should have just a case of the chicken shits, and they're gonna face off. Now, is that Fight for the Fallen on July 15th? Is that what they're calling that night?
Yes, and I guess there's a bunch of money being donated as well to I think from the cons and AEW
from the shooting that happened in Jacksonville. If you remember at the video game contest, remember?
Is that what
there was a Madden tournament and there was a shooting. One of the players that lost started shooting people, I believe is what the story was, and they gave money. They great thinking and way to contribute to their own community, you know? Yeah. That's cool. I think that's cool. They still do it.
And next week, we're going to have Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, FTR and the Young Bucks versus the Butcher of the Blade, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr.
That's cool.
Lance Archer versus Joey Janela, SCU versus the Dark Order, Nyla Rose in a match to be announced, and Private Party is going to take on Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, who defeated the Best Friends. I'm sorry.
That is going to be off the chain. That's a tag match I'm really looking forward to.
And I think they could do some cool stuff with that.
Yes.
With Paige and the beer arc. I'm sure that they'll have a toast in the ring. I like how they're setting up tonight. Kenny Omega after the match. This match as a main event, I'm sorry, my eyes were locked to Sasha versus Io.
Couldn't compete.
No.
But after this, I thought we might get a surprise. I mean, we had FTR come out to the ring, get into it, get in Omega's face. The Young Bucks came out to make peace. And Adam Page giving Omega a beer that he pretended to drink, then poured out. It was not a big ending, but I'm curious where this is all going.
I'm looking forward to Omega being in the ring with Private Party.
Yeah.
They're going to do some sick stuff, especially Quinn. Is it Quinn, right?
Quinn or Quinn?
Mark Quinn.
Mark Quinn. Quin? No, am I making that up?
I think it's En.
Him. There you go.
Yes. I'll look it up. Private Party AEW.
Him versus not Adam Page. Adam Page is great. I'm just saying though, in general, Kenny wrestles 100 miles an hour. He does some very cool stuff. He's going to put some cool packages together with Quinn.
And then Dustin D 499 saying Jericho's great on commentary. I think it's noticeable when he's gone, or I felt it tonight in the main event.
Yes, I agree.
Do they need? Jericho was supposed to be sort of a band-aid to add some star power without an audience. I think he feels like it's
exceeded.
It's a void when he's not there.
Yeah, Dustin.
There is no Joe as Jericho-esque.
Thank you. I was going to say, Dustin, there's no Jericho-esque guy. Jericho is a premium plus when he's at the table. You can't find somebody who can do him every episode.
No way. He is hilarious. And he does all the comedy stuff that you could ever think of. He makes unentertaining matches entertaining because he makes fun of them, which I pop for.
What'd you guys think of the stage setups tonight? The Flash is asking to like the stage setup for Great American Bash. I like that it was new. Fyter Fest felt like a toned down version of what we saw last year.
It did, and I like the Great American Bash set better.
Yeah, Great American Bash set was definitely better. I mean, Fyter Fest.
Let's see what Raj thinks about that. He's always complaining that NXT he doesn't have the big field sets.
And Great American Bash.
Matt, you have latent issues with Raj the way some people have issues with their fathers. Like, let's see what the old man thinks about this. Always talking about the sets. They showed you tonight, old man.
Yes, they did.
And a bonus for NXT and Full Sail for this Great American Bash, they had pyro.
Yeah. About time. Pyro is always a good thing.
I mean, like Full Sail probably has an ordinance where they can't have decibel level loud pyro. They had a silent. They didn't make any. There was no boom, but it was still the visual of pyro, which I thought was add something to entrances or celebrations.
Yes.
So for next week, which show are you looking forward to more?
NXT. I mean, no. AEW.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close right down the middle for me. Tonight was definitely NXT on paper. Next week, both on paper. I mean, Jericho, Orange Cassidy again. I think you have to have a Tyson surge in there, but then NXT with Gargano and Lee. I mean,
okay, so that took forever, dude. Which of the two?
I said it in 10 seconds. I said it's pretty dead heat.
All right, that's for now. Who won tonight? What are you looking forward to next week?
It's equal to me. It's both.
Okay, now I'll ask this one. Tonight's shows, I'm picking who won tonight's. I thought NXT did.
NXT.
Justin?
NXT.
Glenn?
I think NXT.
Okay. Wow.
I think next week, Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. I'm really looking forward to that. But
well, what about who Nyla Rose? Mystery opponent,
true.
right? Supposing that's a debut and somebody new.
I mean, if Tessa Blanchard came out and beat Nyla Rose, that would be quite a surprise.
There you go. That's what I was getting at.
That would get the internet talking. And yeah, Pillman Jr. was there tonight, right?
Pillman Jr. was ringside on the babyface side at AEW.
Yeah. Both these were good tonight. I mean, again, what we said when we opened, Matt, I mean, aside from everyone talking about what's underneath the hat, lots of talk about this idea of do pay-per-views seem almost arbitrary now in the age of the network and the age that people aren't buying them on cable, but you can pop a rating if you do a nightly themed event. I mean, let me pose this idea. Evolution, doing another WWE Evolution on TV might be more of a ratings grab than doing it on the network again as a special. Doing a themed night, I think, has more potential to draw eyeballs in this day and age.
I agree.
And I like that tonight. I like them doing that. I thought it really added something to it. Do we have any news or anything?
The last thing we have, just real quick, was an exclusive that Wrestling Inc. had. Sorry, lost my window. Here we go. Exclusive Wrestling Inc. had, basically, just as it was previously reported, Velveteen Dream unfortunately was involved in a car accident last Friday. Was released from the hospital the same day. Wrestling Inc. had learned the accident took place on Friday afternoon at around 4 p.m. Dream apparently failed to stop at a red light when he struck another car. The driver of the other car did sustain some injuries. However, severity is not known. Dream was given a citation, but will not have to appear in court. And just noted, we haven't seen Dream on TV in some weeks. After his match with Adam Cole, that was the last time. So he's been off. So kind of a lot of speculation about what his future holds. Is he staying in NXT? Is he going to Raw or SmackDown? Is he still with the company? Is he going to be with the company long term? A lot of questions. A lot of questions being asked, and us wondering, what's next for him.
We'll find out in due time.
Yes, Wrestling Inc. will have the story. I think that's it for tonight, guys. We're going to be back here Friday.
Thank you.
Friday, July 3rd, the night before 4th of July. Please spend it with us. SmackDown ends on the East Coast. Until then, he's at BP Matt Morgan. He's at Justin LaBar. I'm Matt Glenn Rubenstein. We'll catch you back here later on the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
LaBar flies.